Hey, so I would like to show you my new book, Dice the Demiurge. I'm gonna go over how to play it and give you an idea of what it is. Just a heads up, this isn't scripted, so the explanation might go on for a bit. Also, I have tics, so at some point I'm likely to say things that don't make sense or are quite rude. So I apologize in advance for that. Let me zoom in to start. Right, so this is an incremental dice game for one player. So you play it on your own. It's not a tabletop role-playing game that you need to have a bunch of friends over. You can just have this on your own, and if you've got some dice, you can play it. It's an incremental game, so if you don't know what that means, it's a game where you make numbers go up. If you've played Cookie Clicker before, you have an idea of what an incremental game entails. So let's dive in. So just a quick look at the contents. You can see the majority of the book is shops. The game rules are really just here. So the rules for the game are very simple, but they get added to by different purchases and things that you can make along the way. Also another point, all of the illustrations that you see are hand-drawn. I don't use AI in my work, because, why would I want to? Anyway, Dice the Demiurge is a game without end. If you're familiar with incremental games, that should be fairly normal to you. Once per day, you will roll dice to deal damage to the Demiurge, a great demon trapping you in a false world. So it is meant to be like a little daily thing, doesn't take up much time, just a little bit each day. You roll some dice, and then you're done. The blood you draw can be spent to improve your dice and become stronger. After killing the Demiurge, you may ascend to where stronger foes await. So that's the basic game loop. You'll roll dice each day. You'll buy things to make your dice better, and when you've done enough damage, you can move on to the next world and fight a new Demiurge. So what you'll need to play is this rule book. It looks like this, but there's also a PDF version, a print-friendly PDF version. So this version has all shaded art, but there's also a print. I've made two versions of every illustration, so that it doesn't have all of the dark ink. So if you're printing it at home, it's going to be nicer to your ink supply. Wow. There's also an imageless version. It's just a HTML file, and I've tried to make that as screen reader friendly as possible. So the rule book kind of exists in multiple states, but whichever one you prefer to use is fine. You also want a pencil and eraser. We have these things handy. And some dice. It says a polyhedral set is fine to start. I did make the game specifically because I have a bunch of weird dice in my own collection, and I wanted a game that I could, that was an excuse to roll all of my weird dice. And this is that, but you don't you don't need the weird dice. Like it says, a polyhedral set is fine to start, and right now that's all I have. I'm away from home at the moment, and I only have these tiny little travel dice, so I'll be using these for now, and if I need anything else, I'll pull out my dice app. It's okay to use a calculator too. You won't be asked to do a lot of complicated maths for the most part. It's mostly just rolling dice and adding the numbers together, but sometimes it's just more comfortable to use a calculator for that kind of thing. I think so anyway. So this is basically, this page is going to just get us started in the game. That's all the core rules really. So you begin in world 0, where the Demiurge has 150 world power. So let's write that down on the character sheet. You can write in this book. World 0, Demiurge willpower 150. But if you buy the game, you'll also get access to game sheets that you can print off yourself. And there's also an interactive game sheet that you can use in your web browser if you don't want to be doing the pen and paper thing. So then, select a class. This will determine what kind of class dice you roll each day and how many. Each class also begins with a skill. So the classes are just a few pages ahead. There are kind of rules for the class. I think they're self-explanatory for the most part. But to start with, we can choose like from one of 3 classes. There are 8 classes total, and you get access to those as you progress through the game. But for now, I think I'm going to go with the Knight. It has the dice pool 1d10, and the skill we get to start with is Steady Hand, which lets us re-roll a class dice once per day. And we'll obviously get other skills as we level up. And we can get a free level up if every class has something like this. You do something in the real world, and you'll get yourself a free level up. So yes, let's write this down. Knight 1d10. Dun, 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 dun. Apologies for my handwriting. My teachers were never happy with it, but it's what it is. 1d10, and I also have the steady hand skill, so let's just write that in. You can use this game sheet however works for you. Like if you would be more happy writing, you know, oh, I get 1 reroll, you can write that, and you could put that elsewhere. You could use it in the notes or in your class details or any place, just so long as you know that, you know, this is an option that you can use when you're rolling. So let's go back to the introduction, because that's everything we need. We've got our dice pool, we've got our first skill. So then roll your dice. And that's straightforward. We've got 1d10, which is this little fella. Let's see what we get. A 2. I am obviously going to choose to use my reroll on that. And a 7. A 7 is a healthy start for this game, I think. Let's write down that we have drawn 7 drops. What else did we have? Add the amount to your total blood drops drawn, which starts at 0. So that takes us to 7, all the way up there. So we have basically our first day's damage done. We've dealt 7 points of damage. We have 7 blood drops, and we're on our way to hurting the Demiurge. Let's see. It might not seem like it makes much of a dent, but you have taken blood from the great demon. Blood can be traded in shops for improvements to your dice and strength. However, spending blood drops returns them to the universe, to the Demiurge itself. You will need to find a balance between getting stronger and damaging the Demiurge if you want to ascend quickly. And that's kind of the core tension of the game. You can spend your blood drops. So I could expend this, but it gets us further away from reaching the 150 target that would kill the Demiurge and let us ascend. Let's spend the 7 blood drops. We've got 7, so that gives us some options. This is where the shops begin. The shops have some basic rules. They're mostly there to, like, if you're confused or to clarify things. And also, you know, for the rules lawyers among you who really need them or want them. Wow, I've got shoes on. And there's the ticks. Right, so the smithy I find is always a good place to start because it's guaranteed damage. It's kind of an insurance against low rolls on each day. The smithy gives you plus a certain amount to your daily damage, which doesn't depend on dice. Obviously, anything above the keener blade is outside of our price range, but we could buy both the keener blade and the keen blade. But also, like, we've got 7. We can, let's zoom it so you can see the full page. The Guild of Heroes. Do we want to focus? Hello, phone. Do a focus. Sorry about this. Do you want to try? Do you want to try? Let's zoom back in. We could afford to hire an axe-wielding fairy who is quite fierce, and that would let us, in addition to our class dice of 1d10, roll a d4 each day. Let's see the misfits. We could also hire a mace mouse, which is only a d3. The misfits are unusual dice. You probably won't find these in your normal dice sets. Wow. But you can still use, it's a d3, but I could still roll. Where's my d4? I could still roll a d4 and just re-roll it if I got a 4. Like, you know, it's not too much of an absurd thing for if you're just using a polyhedral set, a normal poly set. Yeah, level ups and things are just a bit outside of our price range. So to start with, I am going to, but I would like to roll more dice. I would like to roll more dice. You know what? Let's hire ourselves an axe-wielding fairy. Let's add them to our character sheet. That's 5 blood drops. Yes. Adds a d4. Okay, so our allies. Our fairy does a d4. And we can erase that 7 that we drew from earlier. We're not doing damage again right now. And 7 minus 5 is going to be 2. That's the money we just spent on our fairy. We have 2 blood drops left. So as you can see, we expended blood drops. We'll do more damage each day, but that did just take us away from defeating the Demiurge. So that's the kind of core tension of the game. Like, what do you spend money on? Will it get you to defeating the Demiurge faster? Because if I wanted, I could just roll 1d10 every day and not buy anything until we beat the Demiurge. But that would take quite a while. And as we gradually improve how much we're earning each day, we can also improve how quickly we deal damage. So that's kind of what your mind will be at whilst you're browsing the shops. Let's pull back here. So we've gotten stronger, and then repeat. When tomorrow comes, you may roll your dice to deal damage again. At any point, except when rolling, you can make purchases to become stronger, like we just did. Repeat this each day until the amount of blood drops taken exceeds the Demiurge's world power, which means a killing blow has been struck. And then, when we have done that, we go to the Ascension section on page 44, which is a little bit ahead of us, but just to show you what happens then. Wow. There is a process for moving on to the next world, and, kind of starting over, but also not completely starting over. You get to kind of get a bit more of a head start in the next world. And when we do get to the next world, it'll also have a world type. So different types of worlds have different effects, and they also each have their own unique shop, which are exclusive to that world. So that means exclusive purchases and just kind of interesting stuff that can happen as a result in those places. So yeah, let's just get on to the next point. The game is intended to be played in real time. You roll dice once each day with extra rolls to catch up on any days you may have missed. So yeah, as you can see, like it's really does not ask much of your time each day. Like this is to fill this much out was one day. Like, so if you can spare that amount of time in a day, you have enough time to play this game. It's not going to take hours and hours of preparation. it's not a big TTRPG. It is a little thing to give you an excuse to roll dice each day. And the reason and boom, 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 boom. Sorry. And the benefit of that is if you want to play more than like just we have done in a single day, you can. A day can happen as often as you like, a day in game. If you're looking for a little daily diversion and the satisfaction of gradual progress, then I recommend you playing once or twice a day. If you'd rather burn through the game quickly and roll lots of dice all at once, put aside a couple of afternoons and you can quickly play through months of in-game time. And yes, you can mix and match. I like to do a jump start, which is whenever I enter a new world, I give myself, say, like up to 10 days to roll all at once, just to give myself get myself started and give myself a bunch of dice to go with quickly, because I like rolling lots of dice. That's me. So there's a couple of other rules that don't really kick in until much later in the game. But that's it. That's the core rules in just like a couple of pages. There's also an explanation of like dice terminology that the game uses, just to so that when it says, you know, hey, this is what a reroll is specifically, if you need to know the rules of that, and there's other terms, and some that are unique to this game, like popping and inflation. But they're simple enough to pick up, I think. And yeah, so that's kind of the basically all you need to do to get started. So let's have a second day. Why not? We're here now, so let's pull out my class dice. And I also have the fairy on hand. So let's give this a shot. It's better than a 2. Let's just start, please. Oh, a 1. Okay, that's going to be a reroll for sure. A 7 again. Okay, 7 will work. Let's write that down. And our axe-wielding fairy also takes a shot. Ooh, a 4. Yes. 4. I was just a little bit distracted because there is a knight skill that kicks in when an ally rolls max value, but I am not a high enough level to use it. So 7 plus 4 is, see, this is why I think calculators should be totally welcome, because like as soon as I'm on the spot, I struggle with this kind of thing. Anyway, this is 11. 2 plus 11 is 13, so our new total blood drops is 13. And that is our day complete. Wow. So you can see it does not take much time to play. It's a game that does not ask much of you, just a little bit to roll dice and do some sums. And then anytime you want to just browse for things that you might want to buy for shopping, you can you can do that. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching this far. I know that like following along with what I'm saying is difficult sometimes, but I appreciate it. And I hope that you, if you get this book, that you have a good time with it. I've certainly enjoyed testing it as like just an because I do love dice. If you know me, you know that I love dice, and I made this game like just to give people an excuse to be rolling dice every day. So even if you're away from your role-playing group, or you're just interested in, you know, getting more of these little math rocks in your life, this is a game to give you an excuse to do that. Right, yes, thank you for watching. If you haven't seen it already, you can look at the trailer for this. So yeah, where the game is available right now, it's on Drive-Thru RPG, where you can get this physical version and the digital version. If you are buying the physical version, make sure you check the option that includes the digital version. It won't cost anything extra. It's just a little awkward because sometimes it gives you the option of buying this without getting the digital content as well. And you probably want both. Yes, and it's also available at Itch.io as just the digital content. And I do add community copies on Itch.io whenever people tip there. So if you can't afford the game right now, do scroll a little bit further down and see if there's any community copies available. There may be. They do get snapped up quickly, I've noticed, but they are an option if you need that option. Right, okay, that's it, video done. Bye.